See other vehicles, encounter dramatic special effects, fire, steam explosions, falling debris, and a death ray from a huge skull as they try to escape. The scale of the room, 50 feet deep, 140 feet long, and 100 feet wide, will add to the sense of peril. The first high-speed portion of the ride will be through a rockwork grotto filled with mummies and a huge wind effect. After squishing through a room filled with bugs using a headlight projection effect, guests will get their chance to cross the perilous suspension bridge. The bridge ropes will sway and accentuate the motion of the Jeep itself. Leaving the treacherous bridge behind us, sinister gargoyles seem to loom above. We ask ourselves, snakes, why did it have to be snakes? Suddenly, a huge animated cobra strikes out at us, the invaders of his lair. Sliding wildly down an eroding bank, we enter the candlelit interior of the giant skull. Racing past the lava pit, we enter the dark rat cave, where we will use the motion base and steering of the Jeep to its fullest extent prior to bursting through a projection of rats jumping into the vehicle. We blow through a crossfire of poison darts into a narrow cavern. Here we see Indiana Jones dangling overhead. Suddenly, the giant ball is revealed, rolling toward us. To avoid it, we reverse, and then dive beneath the rolling ball through a collapsing floor. Amidst a haze of dust and rubble, we survive, only to see a tattered but triumphant Indiana Jones exclaim, "Tourists, why did it have to be tourists?" We laugh and hear the strains of the Indiana Jones theme as we move into the unload area.
I would have bought it.
Yeah, I know. I say, whenever we're trying to sell something, we go, who could sell a snake shoes? And that was, Eddie's forte. He was just really good at putting all the energy in it. And
now, this attraction has one of the greatest finales ever.
Yeah.
And it's all about adventure and all of that. But it also comes with one of the great equations you guys used to use.
Yeah, I don't know whether I should share this with you, but there's a thing that always works, and I kind of test my projects out on that to see if it's in there, and if it is, then we know we've got you. And that is fear minus death equals thrill. Okay? All of you want to get really close to that middle word without experiencing it, right? The closer we can get you to that. And see, I think one of Disney's hallmarks is we get pretty close to that without anybody worrying about it. So, yeah, if we can do that, that's what I think generates thrill. It's one of those, as John Hench would say, those inborn things that you cannot erase.
Now, there was one fellow that was pretty scared of this attraction, and you met him.
Yeah, this was a Disney Channel.
Yeah, does anybody remember a show on the Disney Channel called Disneyland Inside Out?
Yeah.
And it was hosted by a redheaded fellow by the name of J.D. Roth.
Right.
And tell us about that.
Okay, so J.D. came out and he'd cited the whole thing out, and so he was really personable, a really gregarious young guy. And then he says, I just have to tell you one thing. You're going to get one ride out of me, and that's all. I'm so frightened by this ride. I've already ridden it, and it took me like about 2 hours to calm down. I think I can go through it one more time. So while you're watching this footage, I'm worried that he's going to lose it in the middle of the ride, and he's worried he's going to lose it. So,
the best thing is watch JD's face. He's faking it all the way through, but watch Tony's face watching JD.
Yeah.
And there's one particular moment in this video where you go, somebody's going to lose it.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yep.
All right, roll it.
When last we saw JD, he and Disney Imagineer TonyBaxter were on a runaway troop transport through the IndianaJonesAdventure. One of the most amazing things about this ride is you never take the same trip twice. Computers actually decide your fate, changing the effects you experience every time. Okay, so there's fire up here.
That's right.
That's fire, we've got falling on.
And it all has to happen every 18 seconds.
Kidding.
There's someone else right behind us. All these things have to happen. In a movie, it's only one.
And we'll do it
Here from 8 in the morning till midnight.
bridge right here. Yeah. How does the effect work when we fall? Oh!
Wow. That was a different program. We have about 160,000 variations of different movements that you can experience on the ride.
So every time you go on the ride, it's going to be different.
That's right, because the computer on board this vehicle can pick any one of those.
Like that, right
like
there.
That, yes. Now we're going into the very heart of Lawrence.
So there you are.
Well, now, Tony, talk to us about bringing something like this from just the germ of an idea to reality.
Well, you know, Brian is an incredible artist, and this was a painting that we agreed we were going to try to do. But one of the things I'm always really conscious of, some other companies, which will remain anonymous, cheat a little bit and say, this is what we're going to build, and then you go out there and there's a name placard and a roller coaster or something. But we put this out there, and I said, it's really, you know, to all of our credit to try and deliver on this so that it fulfills the promise we've made to the guests. So if you look at that rendering, and then we'll cross-dissolve here to how it came out, I think we came pretty darn close to what we promised people we were going to be able to deliver. So,
I should say. So, we're going to wrap up, but I think I can speak on behalf of everybody here in the audience to thank you and all the great Imagineers. Your terrific team of Imagineers who brought Indy to life here at Disneyland. And, well, if adventure has a name, it's Indiana Jones, right? So thank you, everybody. We're going to leave you with one last clip, and we hope you have a great night tonight here at Disneyland. Thank you.
Prepare to cross forbidden boundaries to the ultimate adventure. Come on! It's more than a ride. It's real. Now your fears have a name. The Indiana Jones Adventure, new at Disneyland.
Thank you to all of our valued annual pass holders for joining us tonight to celebrate the 20 years of thrilling fun and excitement of the Indiana Jones Adventure. We hope you enjoyed this special presentation as well as the rest of your evening here at Disneyland.